Hey, how's it going out there, everybody? It's Brandon here, aka Scourge of Vinyl. And what have I got today? Collection update time. First up, I've got some VCLT, Vinyl Community Love Train. Got some stuff from Pat over at GroundZero Salem. Then we've got some reissues, and then we've got some new stuff for 2017. So stick around. I think you're going to like what I have to show. So, first of all, Pat, GroundZero Salem. This is a mixtape that he made and dubbed himself, sent to a whole bunch of people, myself included. Many thank yous. I haven't gotten a chance to listen to this yet, but he did a masterful job dubbing this and Xeroxing all of this stuff. We've got a lot of stuff that I've heard of. Obviously, Carnivore, Nocturnal, Sheer Terror, Death Penalty, Septic Flesh, Sacrificial Blood, and then there's a lot of stuff that I haven't heard of. So I'm really stoked to dig into this. It's like 110 minutes worth of music on here. So a lot of stuff for me to check out. A lot of stuff that I haven't heard of. Eternal thank yous to Pat over at GroundZero Salem for taking time out of his day to dub these up and send them out to people. It's so cool. It really harkens back to the days of tape trading. Not that I ever got to experience that. It was a little before my time, but I've, of course, read a lot about it, heard a lot about it, and that's exactly what this reminds me of. So this is really a treat, and I really appreciate it. He also dubbed me a copy of Violent Fury Black Mass Offering. He said this is some great death metal out of Syracuse. Got a little more blackened as time went on, but this is death metal. I really like it. I really like how he, Xeroxed everything and taped it on there and whatnot. Really made it look nice and spiffy. Then he also dubbed me a copy of Vor, Evil Metal Demos compilation. This was released by Nuclear War Now, Vor from Canada, but this is just a dub copy. Happy to have it. Some killer death thrash on here. And then he also included a 7-inch from the German band Dawn, this entitled Trespass Infinity. And in the note that he wrote me, he described this as some chunky death metal, and that is exactly what this is. And it is really right up my alley. So I've already spun this a couple times. Thank you once again, Pat. I will leave a link to his channel, GroundZero Salem, in the description. If you haven't already, I implore you to go subscribe. He's churning out great content. And then a local guy named Ryan starting up his own label called Proper Death here in New Jersey. And the first vinyl release for his label, Collapsia, with Angel Plague. This is a death metal band out of New Jersey featuring members of Ruinous, ex-members of Funebrarum. You got some real heavy hitters on here. 8 tracks. There's the band. There's the record label's logo, Proper Death, and stamped on the sleeve right here. He sent me the limited red vinyl. And then some extra stuff. Let's see here. Little note that he sent me. Comes with a lyric sheet. On the back you've got the band photo, credits, all of that stuff. I am always happy to support anything New Jersey, my home state. This is seriously killer death metal. I'm going to leave a link where you can go listen to this. If you like the aforementioned bands like Ruinous, Funebrarum, Disma, Incantation, man, this is so, so good. All right, moving on. I got not one, not two, but three Malevolent Creation reissues to talk about. First up, I'll go in chronological order. We've got the Ten Commandments. My personal favorite, not that the other two aren't great, but this one has just got that really thrashy vibe to it, that early Floridian style of death metal, and just can't be topped for me. I love this record. Comes on this neon yellow. All of these are colored vinyl. The variants, I'm not exactly sure. They're somewhere in the 200, 300 range. Reissued by Listenable Records. Now, you may remember they reissued early Gorguts material and the early Suffocation material, and they did not do a great job with the cover artwork for those. But much, much better this time around for all three of these Malevolent Creation reissues. I'm hoping that they heard a lot of the complaints and put in a little extra effort this time around. So they fixed the artwork, sound quality wise. These are pretty good sounding reissues. I did hear a complaint from someone saying that they replaced one of the tracks on here with a demo recording of that same track. I don't know if that's 100% true. I haven't really noticed a difference myself. But that's, if that is true, it's a teeny tiny little thing. It doesn't bother me too much, so negligible in my book. Retribution. Got it on this dark, transparent blue vinyl. This has got some killer material on here. Slaughter of Innocents, right into Coronation of Our Domain. Has got to be one of the heaviest 1-2 punches in all of death metal, man. And Malevolent Creation, a lot of people really like Retribution, will say it's their favorite Malevolent Creation, and I don't blame them. And then this is a record that kind of divides people. Me personally, I love it. I think it's great, but Stillborn, this comes on this like cyan blue, very lovely, matches the cover art very nicely. My favorite one on here has to be the title track, Stillborn. Out of all three, I would say that this one is my least favorite, but I think it's still a really, really solid record. I've had these three reissues for like a week or so now. I've been spinning them nonstop. I'm very happy to have them. And as far as reissues go, especially from Listenable, considering that they fucked up royally on the Suffocation and the Gorguts ones, especially for the artwork, I think that these are pretty nicely done. I don't have any complaints. All right, I don't know really what to say about this band. Some people like them, some people don't. Even myself, I'm kind of lukewarm on them, but I do collect their stuff. I think that they're a really great band. I just saw them live. They were amazing live, but this is the Black Dahlia Murder with Defloret. I don't care what anyone says. This is melodic death metal. They do have kind of that Hot Topic aesthetic going on with a lot of their merch, and their fan base is at times a little nerdy, a little corny, but I'm not going to let that get in the way of me listening to some music that I really enjoy. I don't give a shit what anyone else is like. I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. I think that this is pretty good stuff. This record especially, the first track on here, Black Valor, is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, songs from the Black Dahlia Murder. They fucking never play it live. I wish they would, but they always close with the final track on here, I Will Return. They always close with that one. Gatefold. This was sold out on indie merch store for a long time, and like they apparently found a bunch of copies in their warehouse. So they were up on sale again, and I grabbed one on this yellow vinyl. And then while I was getting that one, I went ahead and got the latest reissue of Nocturnal, which I just saw them perform in full live, and that was a real treat because this album is awesome. Came on this blue and black split very nicely. Matches the artwork for this as well. Classic, the Black Dahlia murder tracks on here. Everything went black. What a horrible night to have a curse. I worship only what you bleed. The title track, Nocturnal. Deathmatch Divine. Really, really cool stuff. If you like melodic death metal, if you like At the Gates, they always get compared to At the Gates. So, oh well. And then I pre-ordered this one a while ago. It came along with the Black Dahlia murder stuff. This is a reissue of Abominable Trinity, In the End of Human Existence, their first album. Russian brutal death metal kings, in my opinion. These guys are, when it comes to this genre, at the tippy top for me. It doesn't get much better than Abominable Trinity. This one, not as good as Artificial Origins, but still pretty good. Came on this beer colored vinyl. And also there's a couple bonus tracks on here, Skin Removal and Entrails Full of Vermin, taken from the promo that they put out in 2016. So some newer stuff, some older stuff, Unique Leader Records. Awesome brutal death metal record. These I got from Nuclear Blast, and I really enjoy this one. This is Origin with Unparalleled Universe. Awesome technical death metal. I really don't like a lot of technical death metal, but Origin are one of those bands where if you've seen them live, you can really appreciate the musicianship. They put on a fantastic performance. What's the singer's name here? Jason Kaiser, formerly of Skinless. He's been their vocalist for a little while now. So entertaining live. And this new record, it might be their most diverse record yet. It's not constant 200, 300 beats per minute, just straight up blast beats, sweeping riffs. There's a lot of mid-tempo shit. There's a lot of like slow, chuggy riffs. There's a cover of Brujeria song, Revolucion, which is phenomenal. I don't even like Brujeria, but that cover is outstanding. So yeah, I really like this album. It might be, personally, my favorite Origin record yet, just because their early stuff is so incredibly over-the-top technical. This one changes it up a little bit, and it came on this beautiful clear with blue splattered vinyl. Limited to 500 copies. Again, this came out through Nuclear Blast, who I have to say, they've been, say what you want, Nuclear Blast has been putting out some solid stuff this year, and they've been doing a great job with vinyl as well. And that brings me to the newest one from Decrepit Birth, Axis Mundi. 7 years is a long time between records. Decrepit Birth, they've still been active, they've still been playing shows, but you know, we wanted to hear what was going to come after Polarity. I consider that to be their best record, straight up. I mean, the earlier stuff is obviously a little bit more brutal, but on Polarity, you really kind of got their signature riffing, that crazy, intellectual, spacey, kind of lyrical tone to it. I mean, Polarity, to me, it's going to be hard to top, and this doesn't even come close. I think it's a really good record, but it, in all honesty, hard to follow up Polarity in my eyes. Doesn't mean it's a bad record. I think it's really solid. There's some cool covers on here. They cover Orion, the instrumental track by Metallica. They cover Desperate Cry by Sepultura, and they cover Infecting the Crypts by Suffocation. And if you've seen these guys live, they're straight up, no bullshit, technical death metal. They put on a hell of a show. I can't wait. I'm hoping they do some kind of touring for this record, because I would love to hear some of this new stuff played live. And then this one came on a blue with yellow splatter, limited to 500 as well. So no Polarity in my book, but still a good record, still worth listening to if you like Decrepit Birth, if you like that style of sort of technical, brutal death metal. You won't be disappointed. This one just got in today. Been looking forward to getting a vinyl copy of this for a while. And this is Weregoat. Pestilential Rites of Infernal Fornication. I got a CD copy of this with the Metalhead box, I believe. Parasitic Records released this on vinyl. Iron Bonehead did the CD copy, I believe. This is some absolutely blasphemic, infernal, bestial, whatever you want to call it, type shit. Great black death, war metal, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I really don't care about labeling things. Subgenres to me are just more of descriptions rather than finalities. But yeah, this stuff is fucking awesome. This type of genre, this might be one of the best you'll hear this year. This one on black vinyl, there were red copies, 666 total copies. The red one's limited to 200, so 466 on black vinyl. I've spun this one 3 times already today. I fucking love it. Can't get enough of it. And then another great Jersey band here. This is Death Fortress, Triumph of the Undying. Last year, another fantastic record from them, Deathless March of the Unyielding, and then 1 year later already churning out another awesome full length. 6 songs on here. This released by Fallen Empire Records. These guys are some awesome blackened death metal, heavy on the blackened. It's pretty much black metal with death metal roots, I would say, because you can tell that they have roots in crafting death metal songs, but the overall atmosphere and overall vibe of this record, I would say, leans more towards black metal than death metal. And it creates this awesome juxtaposition of heaviness and brutality, and then this icy, raw coldness. When the two of them come together like they do on a record like this, it is just a treat to listen to. It really is. And just because these guys are from Jersey, I'm about it, but it's still good. Don't let my homerism fool you. Check out Death Fortress. I know a lot of people like their last full length. This one I feel like is on par with that last one. Not any worse, not any better, just as good. And here's one that I've wanted for a while, and I don't know why. When Century Media got bought out by I forget who, they moved their merch store with indie merch, and a lot of their vinyl releases have not been getting stocked in the U.S. indie merch store. You can only get the vinyl releases from the European Century Media store. So a lot of these vinyl releases from Century Media, you either have to wait until a U.S. distro gets them or pay the outrageous shipping prices from overseas. And I just waited a little while, and luckily I found this on Amazon. So, I don't like to order from Amazon a lot. I use it more of as a last resort, because I would prefer to buy from the label or band directly, but hey, you got to do what you got to do. But anyways, this is Firespawn with the Reprobates. Firespawn is kind of a super group. You have LG Petrov, the original vocalist from Entombed. You also have members of Unleashed and Necrophobic. And what you have here is just typical Swedish death metal. No gimmicks, no frills, just straight up Swedish death metal. And so you know what you're going to get. It's not reinventing the wheel. It's not going to, take you by surprise. It's just going to be straight up in your face death metal. And that's what I appreciate about it. Beautiful artwork here by Paolo Girardi, as usual. Awesome gatefold presentation. The band photo here. This just came on black vinyl. Didn't even say on Amazon what color it was, but I didn't really care. I just wanted to finally get a copy of this. It came with a CD copy as well, stashed in here, which is kind of nice because I have a CD player in my car, so I can, keep the record in here, put the CD on my computer, and then just keep it in my car if I ever want to listen to it. So, yeah, their last record I thought was great. This one is great. They've really, I think, kind of found their own identity on this record. The last record, you could kind of tell that it was like a bunch of guys coming together from other bands. This, their second full-length release, I think you're starting to get more of a Firespawn type of sound where you hear it and you're like, oh yeah, that kind of sounds like Firespawn. So, excellent record. That's going to be it as far as this collection update goes. If you've stayed this far, thank you for watching this whole video. As always, thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and that's all. Until next time, take care.